The Dow Jones, the S&P, and the Nasdaq hit all-time highs at the end of last week, even though the US economy is sluggish and earnings are in decline, and there's only one reason for that: central bank intervention. Now, while I was preparing this week's in review, I was going to go through one example of central bank intervention, which is the Swiss National Bank and its active participation in the equity markets. The Swiss National Bank, according to a recent SEC filing, owns $63 billion worth of U.S. equities. And I went through each and every one of the 2,600 plus equities that they own. Surprisingly, however, the Swiss National Bank has a gold and silver mining portfolio worth about $1 billion. I would suppose on Thursday was worth over $1 billion. With the decline in price on Friday, the Swiss National Bank's gold and silver portfolio, mining portfolio, dropped a bit. However, I want to take you through this very quickly, and we'll have more on this tomorrow when we do the week in review. But this podcast is solely about the Swiss National Bank's $1 billion gold and silver mining portfolio. I reviewed the SEC filings, and it shows they have they have 23 separate silver and gold mining equity shares in their portfolio, and they got a lot of it. They own Newmont Mining, Gold Corp. On the silver side, they have Silver Wheaton, First Majestic. The total portfolio is worth about $1 billion. Now, this is from a bank who actively campaigned against the Save Our Swiss Gold proposal, which would have required the Swiss bank to hold 20% of the reserves in gold. They said, gold's not good, restricts us, we don't want that. We want to be able to print money. Well, I guess they're going to print money and buy not only $63 billion worth of equities, but some of that in the form of gold and silver equities. So at the end of June 30th, 2016 is what this filing is. It shows that the Swiss National Bank owns 23 separate mining share companies valued at approximately $1 billion. I've got a full list on the website. I'll put a link down at the bottom. You can visit it. You can see the 23 separate silver and gold mining companies that the Swiss National Bank holds. This is intervention at an unprecedented scale just by one central bank. We don't know what the other central banks are doing. The European Central Bank says that it's only buying bonds. It hasn't yet bought equities. The Fed, we don't know if they're buying equities. But this is if the Swiss National Bank does. They have purchased, or they own, they made a lot of money so far. They bought them at lower prices. They own $1 billion approximately of silver and gold mining shares. You can check it out at smaulgld.com. I'll put a link below. You can see all of the mining companies that they own. And in a sense, this is positive intervention because we've been complaining about gold and silver manipulation driving the price down. Well, here's an example where central bank intervention has caused these gold and silver mining companies in part to skyrocket. We'll talk to you tomorrow.